Before we go on to the next video, let's try to understand what is a resolution or a dimension of a image. The right resolution has to be set for the image to look pleasant. Now, whenever you open your image in your image app that comes with your Mac or Windows, when you try to resize it, see the image itself. What is the size of the image is pretty much 1200 width. So whenever you see this number, basically width and then height. So you could notice that the width is less than the height. So 1200 to 1700. No matter how I resize this in my Windows, my Mac preview app, it it actually looks pleasant, right? Now, when I try to make the width of this window size bigger, the image width doesn't increases. Look at it again. It is all the same. Okay. But when I try to reduce the height of the image, the width of the image is also reduced. Let's look at it again. I'm trying to increase the width of the window. The height and the width is not reduced because if you look at it, the width I'm trying to do is more than the image's width, right? It is more than the image width and I'm not able to reduce anymore further. But when I try to reduce the image height, the width is also reduced. Do you know why? Just think of it. If I try to reduce the height and the width stays the same, I mean, his whole face would be stretched, right? So what this Mac app does is, whenever you reduce the height, because you're trying to reduce the maximum height, whenever you're trying to reduce the height, proportionally it tries to reduce width too. So according to the height, let's say the height is 1000. This is 1200 and 1700. Let me look if I have a better 300 to 300. Oh no, dimension is 910. Okay, this can be better. Now, if you look at it, 882 into 1200. Now, this typically the height is 1.5 times of the width. So, if I try to reduce the width, what happens is, okay, so it was 882 now. I'm trying to reduce it into 442. So what I'll do is 442 into 1.5 times, which is like 800 pixel is what the height becomes now. Okay. Sorry, I said that otherwise. So this is the width and the height, 1200, right? So 1200, I reduce this to 600. So this should have become like 600 divided by 1.5, which should become around 400, right? Now the proportion is what it tries to maintain. I'll show it in another app, which is a GIMP app. People who are using the Windows could use your paintbrush to check this out. So I have a scale app. In the scale app, see, I'm trying to reduce the height of it. If I try to reduce the height of it, see the image doesn't looks good. Now again, if I try to reduce the width of it, image doesn't looks good. So there is always a feature in all the image editing apps is to equally reduce the height and width. So what I'm doing is I'm equally reducing the height and width. So just look at it here, 1209 and 1700. So which is somewhere around. So this is okay. We'll use a calculator now. 1700 by 1209. See 1.40. let's see what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to make it as 700. This what I'll do is 700 into 1.40 is what I do. It's 980. Now just let's look at it. Now it looks better because whatever the proportion was earlier, I tried to maintain that. So when I try to maintain that, this see this is actually an automatic lock. If you remove this lock, you could enter the numbers you want. If you keep this lock, the resizing would actually happen proportionally. So the app itself will take care. See, when I'm actually locked it, now I'm unlocked it. When you unlock it, the proportions will not maintain. But when you lock it, no matter how you change, the proportions will be maintained. Now I'm not able to change it the way I want, but if I remove it, I would be able to do that. So this proportions is something that you have to look for when you use image in your HTML and CSS files. Always look how many times height is to the width and make sure that that has been applied if you try to resize.